Hey y'all, it's your girl Lisa Mack and I am back with another faith-based video. You guys, I wanted to come before you today and talk about my season of loneliness. I know that there are a lot of women and men, a lot of people who are out there right now suffering in loneliness, okay? I feel like God is taking me through this season, not only for me, but to help others. And that is the only reason why I want to share. So the purpose of this video is not for me to get any glory from it. I just want to offer up what I'm dealing with, how I'm dealing with it, and hopefully a solution that will help us all to get through it. So if that's something that you would be interested in seeing, then just keep watching. Okay, you guys, so being lonely, it is rough. And it is one of the major things that I deal with is loneliness, okay? I have a lot of friends. I have a lot of people who surround me, but I still find myself feeling lonely. And I think that that's because when you're not in a relationship, like when you're not tied and connected to someone, you kind of feel like less of, you know what I'm saying? Or you kind of feel, like alone, like you're walking, through this life alone. But you have to know that you are never alone, never alone. Even when you are alone, you are still not alone because our Father is right there holding you in his hand, just lighting you up with love. He wants to hold you. He wants to love on you. He wants to nurture you. He wants to guide you, and he wants you to feel secure at all times. So I feel like that sensation of loneliness is from the enemy. I feel like that's the enemy trying to get in and trying to take you on other paths and to other things that create other sins in your life that intentionally lead you to death. Intentionally, your spiritual death, death of yourself, death of your happiness, death of life in general, death of future relationships, ever having a future relationship. Like all of that can lead to other things. It's like a rippling effect. So I try to combat loneliness at all times, but it doesn't mean that it doesn't happen. It doesn't mean that it doesn't subside sometimes. So how I try to combat that is just by being alone. I was listening to my cousin minister on today, and she was saying how you have to get in a room, get by yourself and just be by yourself. Turn off all the noise. You don't need any music. You don't need the TV. Just turn everything off and be by yourself. Be in there alone and wait and listen for God, because he will show up and he will tell you what your next move is. That way you can be steady and steadfast in what it is that he wants for you and your purpose for life. Like you can move, but you have to get somewhere. Be still, be quiet, and let him minister to you. Let him talk to you. And I tell people all the time, it's not a voice that you hear. It's this thing that's like intuition. You know what I'm saying? It's like in your gut. You know it's there. You felt that. It's like, okay, God, are you telling me to do X, Y, and Z? God, is this you saying you need to make this next move? You'll know when it's God, but you have to be still and you have to be quiet. So there is nothing wrong with being alone. And while you're alone, be happy. Be happy in your loneliness. Don't allow being alone and being by yourself to have you sitting there like miserable, not wanting to do anything, not wanting to go anywhere, not wanting people to see you in. You know what I'm saying? Don't allow loneliness to have you in a slumber. Be happy. Be happy. Enjoy yourself. Enjoy your own company. I know sometimes I can start feeling a little lonely and I will turn on some dance music and I would just get up and just dance. Or I'll take the advice of my 16-year-old and I will just get in the camera and just smile. And you can't help but to laugh. You can't help but to cheer yourself up. So try those things. Now, loneliness and depression are two different things. Don't get it mixed up, because some people, they can be in a lonely state, and then some people can be in a state of depression. And that's so much more serious. And there's so much more that you have to do and divulge in to conquer that demon. Okay. So don't get it twisted. Don't get the two messed up. But in your loneliness, try to be happy. Try to laugh. Try to love on people. Try to be there for people. Let your light shine when you're alone, because when you're alone, that is the time where you can just work on you. You find out what you like in loneliness. You find out how you can move in loneliness. You find out the things that you need in loneliness. So be happy. Search for those things. Figure out what it is that you like. I can say for myself, I was sitting there and I was thinking, do I like basketball? Like, do I really like basketball? Because my ex-husband, my son's father, he played basketball. So I was always into basketball. And then my son, he played basketball. So naturally, I'm going to basketball games and all this. And I'm like, but do I really like basketball? Well, I like football, actually. I'm a diehard Dallas Cowboys fan. So in my loneliness, I have figured out that these are my likes. And just because I'm surrounded by other people who are attached to me, that's what they like. That doesn't mean that I have to like that very thing. But it took me being alone to start figuring out who I am and what I like and what I need and what God is wanting to do with me, like what my purpose is in life. You figure all that out in loneliness. So sometimes we're lonely in the beginning of our lives, and sometimes God places the loneliness on us, later in life. It doesn't matter. God is always on time. He's an on-time God. So it doesn't matter when your loneliness starts. Embrace it. Embrace the loneliness, okay? Love on yourself. Love on yourself. And that is what I'm trying to do for me right now in my loneliness. So the next thing in your loneliness, don't focus on anything else. I know for me, in the beginning of this journey of me being alone, I was thinking to myself, God, I love love. Like, I love love. I don't want to be alone. I don't want to be by myself. So God, I want to start dating and all that kind of stuff. And God revealed to me, Lisa, you idolize marriage. Like, that's your idol. Like, you look at marriage, like everything I watch, everything I listen to, everything that just gives me those good feelings, on the inside, those furry and fuzzy feelings, it all has to do with marriage and couples and a man. And so I realized that's what I'm idolizing. Like, I'm idolizing that image of having a perfect marriage and having love and having someone to love me like this. Because I always say, oh my God, I want somebody to love me like that. That's an idol. God does not want any idol above him. You have to focus on God and God alone. Matthew 6:33 says it, that God needs your full attention. He needs your full attention. Do not idolize on anything else. And I'm going to read it. I'm going to read Matthew 6:33. And it says, seek the kingdom of God above all else and live righteously, and he will give you everything you need. So seek God. Don't seek anything or anybody else for your needs, for your wants. God is going to do it. He wants to give you everything you want. He wants to give you everything you need. He's your father. He's your father. He loves you genuinely, honestly, humbly. He loves you. He humbly stands at your feet. What do you need? What do you want? He's there to give it to you. So seek him and nothing else. And I know for me, I have been idolizing marriage and relationship and men. And it's like, God takes all of that away. And I was wondering, how come this didn't work? Why didn't this work? I put my all into this. I woke up thinking about it. I went to bed thinking about it. Throughout my day, I was trying to figure out what's the next best thing that I can do to try to keep this. I'm writing lists. I'm writing the cons and the pros. And God's like, but where did you pray? Where did you pray? Where did you ask for me? Where did you seek me? Where did you seek my counsel? Where were you when I needed you to worship me? Where were you? And in that, he took all of that away. And that's what God will do. And he does not care what or who it is. That's another thing my cousin taught me today. It doesn't matter who it is. It could be your children. He does not want you to worship anything but him. Honor God. Honor God. Seek him, and you will have all of the desires of your heart. So the next thing that I'm doing in my season of loneliness is I am allowing God to hide me. And it is so funny because I can find myself either like at church, or I could go. I know one day I was at the movies and I was there, by myself, and a lady came up to me and she's like, "Girl, how you doing?" And I said, I'm doing fine. And she's like, "I haven't seen you." And it struck me as really funny because I had seen her 2 Sundays before that at church, but she felt like she hadn't seen me. And it seems like everywhere I go, I see people, I hug them, and they're like, "Where you been? I haven't seen you. Hey, how you doing? Are you okay? Girl, I ain't seen you in a while." That's because I'm allowing God to hide me. God has a spirit of hiddenness on me. Why? Because right now I'm weak. And I do not want to be attacked. I do not want the enemy to come in and take over because I'm weak. I'm weak right now. Right now, I am just trying to regain my strength. I'm trying to regain my posture. And I'm trying to regain my love for myself. So I asked God, I said, "God, hide me. Hide me from anything that could attack me. Anything that could harm me in any way." And God will do that. He'll hide you. He'll hide you from the smallest things that you're like, "Well, God, I know this lady, she's not going to do anything to hurt me," but you don't know what's attached to her. You don't know what's attached to her because she might be okay, but she might have a nephew, cousin that that could come in and think you cute. And then here you are in another volatile situation. So allow God to hide you. Allow him to hide you. And in that hidden place, worship him. In that hidden place, just worship God. And when I say worship, I just mean to thank him. Just say, "God, I thank you. I thank you for hiding me. God, I thank you. I thank you for keeping me. God, I thank you. I thank you for blessing me. God, I thank you. I thank you for gracing me." If you don't know what to say, just say thank you. Just say thank you. Say thank you for the little things. And then another thing that I am trying to do in my loneliness is I'm trying to be obedient. I'm trying to be obedient. And when I think of obedience, I think about Genesis 3:1 when the serpent came in and he was like, now, was that God who told y'all not to eat from that tree? And God had told Adam and Eve, "Listen, y'all can eat from all of these other trees out here in this garden. Just don't eat from that tree that's in the middle of the garden." And here comes the serpent. The serpent comes right in and the serpent's like, "Did God really say that? Did he really say that?" He said, "Y'all can eat from all these other trees, but not that one. So you can't eat from that tree." Oh, okay. Oh, okay. And then what did they do? They went, they ate from the tree, and what happened? Instantly, they realized that they were naked. And before, they never seen themselves in shame. But at that very moment, they were shameful and they wanted to clothe themselves. They wanted to cover up. And what did that do? Covering up, it just caused so many more ripples of bad situations to come. Because us in our day now, we cover up constantly. And it started way back then when God said, "Don't eat that. Don't eat that." So be obedient. Obedience is greater than sacrifice. Okay. So I know that a lot of times I say to myself, I'm like, "God, I'm lonely, but God, I'm happy and I trust you. And God, if you never ever want to give me a man, if you never ever want me to get married again, and God, that is fine with me." So I offer up a sacrifice. No, God could care less about my sacrifice to him. Why? Because we're living in a new time. They did sacrifices back then, but now God died. He gave his son. That was the ultimate sacrifice. We're free from that. And he could care less about a sacrifice. He wants obedience. So God is saying, be obedient to me. Be obedient to my word. Deny yourself. And I'm like, oh, it's tight, but it is right. Deny yourself, which is taking me to my next point, where I have to deny my flesh daily. And in reference to denying my flesh daily, I'm going to go to Romans chapter 7, 5-6. Let's just to get that. Okay, it took a while because I have the first generation iPad. iPad first generation here. But anyway, so in Romans chapter 7, verse 5, it says, we were controlled by our old nature. Sinful desires were at work within us, and the law aroused these evil desires that produce a harvest of sinful deeds, resulting in death. But now we have been released from the law, for we died to it and are no longer captive of its powers. Now we can serve God, not in the old way of denying the letter of the law, but in the new way of living in the Spirit. So we have to be obedient. We have to be obedient. Not only do we have to be obedient, we have to deny and die to ourselves on a daily basis. We have to die to ourselves. Just like those sensual feelings that we get, like any of our senses and our emotions and our feelings, they all are a lie. Okay. Anything, just like people say, oh, I met him and I got those fuzzy feelings. I got butterflies. Girl, that wasn't butterflies. That's fear. That is fear. And fear is of the enemy. We shouldn't feel that. I mean, it's a natural thing, but it's like you have to be conscious of those feelings, because your senses, your feelings, your emotions, they will lie to you. Okay, they will lie to you. They will tell you, oh, he did this to me, but it's okay because I love him. No, it's not okay. God, he hit you, but that was God hitting you upside your head to tell you to move around, because this is not the person that I ordained for you. You chose that. I didn't. So we have to deny. We have to deny ourselves on a daily basis. And we cannot trust our senses. We cannot gratify our senses. Like, we can't give into that. We can't give into it. What we have to do, we have to stand true in God's word, in the Bible. The Bible is just basic instructions before leaving earth. That is what God gave us. He wrote this book and just gave us the basic instructions before he left earth. And we have to get into it and read it and listen for ourselves. So with doing that, the loneliness that we feel, we can combat that, we can deal with it, we can handle it, and we can make it through. Okay, so I just wanted to come today and just help someone who is fighting and battling the same thing that I am. I know God has just worked on me in loneliness, and I know that every situation that I go through, I know that it's not for me. I know that it's not for me. I know that it is done to me and through me so that I could help someone else. So that's the purpose of this video, and I hope it helped. All right, and I also hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a big thumbs up. Don't forget to comment, and do not forget to subscribe. And if you already subscribed, hit that notification bell, ding ding. That way, anytime I post a video, you'll be notified. But most of all, y'all be blessed. Keep planning, keep praying, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye.